How do you debug minified JavaScript code? Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where all the pieces are jumbled and the picture is barely visible. That's what debugging minified JavaScript code can feel like. When code is compressed to make websites load faster, it becomes hard to read and understand. But don't worry, there are tools and techniques to make this easier. The main way to fix this is by using source maps. These are special files created during the bundling or minification process that connect the compressed code back to the original source files. When you generate source maps with your build tools like Webpack, Rollup, or Babel, they store information about where each piece of minified code came from. This is a game changer for debugging because it lets you see the original code in your browser's developer tools. Once you have source maps, open your website in a browser like Chrome or Firefox. When you look at the JavaScript in the developer tools, if source maps are working, you'll see the original code instead of the minified version. This makes setting breakpoints and stepping through code much easier. To ensure this works, check that your minified JavaScript file ends with a comment like #source mapping URL is equal to app min JS map. The browser automatically loads the source map if it's there. If you're debugging and want to pause execution, just click on a line in the original source code and hit play. The debugger will stop there, letting you inspect variables and see what's happening step by step. This process is much faster and clearer than trying to decipher compressed code. If source maps aren't available, debugging gets tougher. You can still set breakpoints in the minified code, but it's like trying to read a secret code. You might need to add console logs or reproduce the bug in a development environment with unminified code. To make debugging easier, configure your build tools to generate source maps by setting properties like DevTool, source map in Webpack. Also, some editors like Visual Studio Code support source maps and can attach debuggers directly to your running code, making the process smoother. Remember, always verify that your source maps are correctly generated and accessible in production if you need to troubleshoot live issues. Keep your build process consistent and check the developer tools settings to ensure source maps are enabled. With these steps, debugging minified JavaScript becomes less of a mystery and more of a straightforward task. This approach helps you maintain and fix your code efficiently, even after it's been optimized for speed.